Hi everyone, my name is Lena and I'm part of the team that is responsible for the ESP assignments. In this video, I would like to give you a brief introduction to Assignment 1. So let's take a look at what Assignment 1 is about. Assignment 1 is called the Election Simulator Program, and your task is to implement a program that has 5 candidates, and for each candidate your program needs to take a user input as an ID, and then the user can input votes for each candidate, and in the end your task is to calculate who wins this election and print the results. The deadline for this assignment is on the 6th of November 2024 at midnight, but please hand it in a little bit early if there are technical problems or something like that. And the assignment is worth 12 points. And how do you get these 12 points? First of all, 70% of the points are given for functionality, so there will be test cases that will be run on your program. Some of them are public, which means you can run them yourself locally on your PC and then see what they're about. And then there are private test cases, which we will test on our system, and then you will only see the results for those. So you will see if you passed them or not, but you will not get to know the details of why you passed them or why you did not pass them. And this is to give you an idea that you can still improve your program. So if you do not pass all the private test cases, maybe look through your program again and try to figure out what the problem is. Then 30% of the points are given for code quality, which is the style and the structure of your code. And then there might be some deductions. There's a possibility of deductions if you violate any of the specifications given in the assignment descriptions, or if at the assignment interview you do not know about your own program, so there is a doubt whether you wrote it yourself. But hopefully you know everything about your own assignment, so this will not be a problem. And all of this is given in detail on the course website on Notion. So take a look at that. Also, everything that I'm going to tell you here in this video is described in the assignment description as well, so you can look it up there afterwards. So how we do our assignments is you will get your, or we might have already gotten your own GitLab repository. So for this you get an email that is a link to a GitLab repository. And this repository contains information about the specifications that I talked about, so the rules you need to follow for this assignment. It contains all the information about the grading, how you can submit your assignment. It contains the assignment description, the detailed assignment descriptions, and also it contains the public tests and the way to run them on your PC. And to do the assignment, you need to clone this repository, implement the program, implement the task, and commit your implementation and push it to this same repository. And the last commit before the deadline will be graded, but there is, you can do intermediate commits. We recommend that you do intermediate commits to save your work. So if you have technical problems, it will not be lost, or if you run out of time at the end, it's much better to have submitted an earlier version of your program than try to upload it in the end and somehow it doesn't work. So whenever you finish doing your work for the day or something like that, just push a commit to your GitLab repository, and just the last commit before the deadline will be graded. So let's take a look at an example repository now. So here you can see what this looks like. Up here you have like the name of the repository. It says A1 for assignment 1. In this case, this is our testing repository, so it says 2 to test. Your repository will have a number here, which is your repository ID. And if you ask questions on Discord, we ask you to please add this number to your Discord name, so that we can easily find your repository if there is anything we need to look up in your repository. Then you can see here the list of files that is in this repository. So here we have a folder called tests, which contains the public tests. Then we have a makefile. I will talk more about that later. Git ignore just lets you specify, or already specifies, which files should not be uploaded to this repository. And then the important thing is this README here, which contains the assignment description, which is also what you will see down here already open. This is the text that's in this README, and we'll go through that in a bit. Then this is the should be your solution file, which is called a1.c. I'm not going to show the contents of this one to you because it contains our reference solution. And then these two are needed to run the test. So the test runner runs the test, and this test TOML file specifies which tests to run. So you can take a look at them, but the one you need to read is the README, which I will go through now. So this is the assignment description for the election simulator program assignment 1. And here you can see like a brief introduction, what I told you already. It's like a simulated voting system. There are always 5 candidates, and the program should automatically calculate the winners. And there are certain learning goals you need to follow, which are listed here. So you need to use these things in your program. And you will notice that in the deductions, in the possible deductions on the course website, it lists that learning goals need to be used. So please, I mean, you will probably not be able to program this without using these things, but take a look at them and make sure that you use them. Then here we have some specifications, which are just rules you need to follow to not get any deductions. Here's a link to the course website where all the things you need to follow are listed. These are the ones that need to be followed for every assignment in this course. And then we sometimes have additional specifications, so rules for only for this assignment. And in this case, for assignment 1, each candidate must be represented as a struct. I'm not sure if this has been explained in the KU or VO yet, but it will be explained in time. So the candidates need to be represented as structs, and otherwise, if you do not do that, you will get a deduction, so you make sure you do that. Then here's some more information about the grading. Assignment 1 is worth 12 points, as I said. Then once again, here a link to what I told you already, the information about the 70% is functionality, 30% is coding style, etc., etc. So you can also read about that on our website, and we please recommend that you look at it. Also, how your total grade for the KU will be calculated is linked here. And then once again, we need you to submit your solution in a file called a1.c, and you just push it to your repository before the deadline. Last commit before the deadline will be created. Then what it also has in here is weekly exercises. So these exercises have been published every week on online GDB, and all of the exercises have a tag, like in the name. It says, for some of them, it will say A1. So you need to complete the weekly exercises tagged with A1 before the A1 deadline. At least 50% of the exercises need to be solved, otherwise you will get a point deduction on A1, on assignment 1. And this is mostly for you because these are easy exercises to do to practice the things you will need for the assignment. So we recommend doing these exercises before you start on the assignment, so you will have an easier time doing the assignment itself. Then we get to the actual assignment description. So here it says like a brief intro text again, and then there are some general notes, and then it starts with the program sequence. So first you need to print a welcome message, then each candidate is assigned a number, so there are 5 candidates, they are numbered, and for each of these candidates then the user can input an ID. This is this user input. There's some messages to print for that, some error handling you need to do, so no 2 candidates can have the same ID. And then you need to have a user input for each candidate. You need to input the votes. And then we have like another user input that confirms these votes. So This is a way for the user to check if the input was correct, and if not, to change the input again. So you need to here choose between yes or no. The program needs to be able to handle that, and then go back to inputting new things if the earlier input was not correct. And then finally, the program should print the results of what was the input and congratulate the winners. And finish with a final message. And here you can see some example outputs and can look through them, and they're also included in the public tests. So that was a short run through of the A1 assignment description. Please read this carefully. Everything should be described in there. If you notice a mistake or have any questions, please ask via Discord. Let's go back to the slides. So as I said, you need to be able to run and test your program on your PC. And for this, it is important that you can compile and run your program manually, like with the command in the console. And you will need this. It is very probable that you will need this at this assignment interview. Just a quick hint. And then you also need to test if your program behaves correctly for different inputs. So just when you're done with your program, or if you're doing like a certain section of programming, try inputting different things and check if your program crashes, if it does something unexpected, something like that. And this will help you pass the private tests, because these are the things we look out for in the private tests. We additionally also provide a makefile, which I listed before when we looked at the repository. So these are different. This gives you the possibility to use different short commands for to compile and execute the program. So these are commands you can input in the console in the folder that your repository is in, and then it will make bin will compile the program, make run will compile and execute the program, and make tests will run the public test cases. So let's take a look at that, what that looks like. So I'm in the VM here, so inputting the password. And this is the repository I cloned. So I have this locally on the computer. And then if I open a terminal here, I hope you can read this. I can of course manually compile and run, but for convenience we've provided this makefile, and we can now use the make command. So if I use make bin, you can see this compiles the program. We have now got a binary here. And if I use make, I need to type correctly, make run, we see this compiles the program as up here, and then it starts the program. So we've got this welcome message. We need to enter an ID for the candidates. I'm just gonna call, and you will see the rules is it's supposed to be a single letter only. So I'm gonna call this candidate A, then we've got candidate B, candidate C, candidate D, and candidate E. And now we've gotten to the next phase of the program, where we need to input the votes for all of these candidates. I'm making an easy choice here. I'm just gonna give one vote to everybody. So all 5 candidates get 1 vote. Are you sure this input is correct? Yes, I want to finalize this. I'm gonna input a 1 here to say that this input is correct. And then it outputs the results. So this is the what one execution of the program should look like. This is all described in detail in the assignment description, just so you have a quick overview in this video as well. And yes, so this was make run, which is a quick way to run the program. But please make sure that you also know to compile and how to compile and execute your program manually. The other one I wanted to show you is make test. So once again, program is compiled and then it says starting tests. And this will run all the public test cases. So we need to wait a bit because it takes some time. All right, so in this case, we've got a list of test cases and down here it says passed test cases 5 out of 5. So we are lucky our reference solution passes all tests. That's great. And if it does not, it will say down here that some tests are not passed, and then you can look at which test case did not pass. So you have a list here. So if this output diff says 100%, this means your solution and the reference solution had the same output. If it's less than 100%, then there's something wrong and you need to figure out what it is and correct it. And it will also not list this test case down here as passed. So what this also does is it creates a test report for you. So let's take a look at that. So in your folder, you will now have a test report HTML file. So let's open this. And here you will see all the test cases listed, only the public ones, because this is only on your local PC where you only have the public ones. And then you can look down here and we'll have for each test case a side-by-side comparison of what the reference solution output is and what your output is. And if there is a difference, this will be marked. So it will be red or green with a red or green overlay. So you will easily see where there's a difference in output between the two solutions. You can also, what it does here, you can toggle invisible characters. So here you can see that these spaces have this tiny dot. So if it's easier for you to read, you just turn that off. So this is like a way to see characters that are not visible. All right, so yes, let's go back to the slides for a bit. Here, once again, I'm showing you this make run so you can look it up in the slides as well. You can see here I used the command make run in the terminal. And what you can also see here is the command this uses to compile your program. So here you can see we use clang, and then we use all these flags to compile your program, and it's supposed to output a file called A1. And this is also the command you need to know to compile your program manually. So make sure you remember to compile with all these things, so you will have the same results as our test system. Because if you remove some of them, you might not get all the warnings. All right, that's make run. Then, once again, we have make test, what I already showed you. We have the list of tests, we have how many test cases were passed, and it generates a test report with more details that you can look at. All right, so this is what you do, what I already showed you is what you do locally in your PC. You also have the ability and should do this to test your program via GitLab. So whenever you commit and push a status of your implementation to GitLab, it will be automatically run through our test system. So then to get the results from that, you need to go to the GitLab repository, click on the build to the side, build option here, and then go to jobs, and then you will see the list. Let's just take a look at that real quick. So once again, I'm in the repository on GitLab now, so this is on the website. You see here on the side, you have the sidebar, you have like the build thing, and then you go to jobs. And then you will see a list of all the commits that have been pushed to this repository. In this case, it's only 2 commits, but you will probably have more. And then if for a certain commit you want to see the test results, you need to click on the name of it up here. And then it will show you the test results. And so here again, it says starting tests, and then it has a list of tests. And down here, it now says pass test cases 10 out of 10, because this tests both the public tests, so the same ones you have locally on your PC, and the private ones. But for the private ones, you do not get to know what they're about. So the private ones are censored here, and you only get to see the result. And if we now go back, you can also download this here. So if you download here, then you will get the same test report as I showed you locally on the PC. So download this here, look at it, and you will get more details, but unfortunately not for the private test cases, only for the public ones. All right, I think that's it for testing via GitLab. Yes. And that's it for the video. If you have any questions, please ask via the Discord A1 forum. You can also ask in person at the question hour, which is currently planned for the 4th of November. But the 4th of November is a little bit late to start your implementation. So please start much earlier. The earlier you start, the better it will be for you. Do not get stressed, etc. But if there are any last-minute questions at the question hour at 4th of November, this one will be in person. But any other questions, please feel free to ask via Discord. We will also use Discord for announcements, so if there are any updates to the assignment or the deadlines or something like that, so please regularly check Discord. And also, I need to mention it again, has been mentioned multiple times, but please do your own work. Do not use AI to solve these problems. Do not work together with other people. Do not show code to other people. Do not post your code on Discord because we will do a plagiarism check on your work afterwards, and it's not great if this is detected. So please do your own work. And that's it from me for assignment 1. I wish you good luck, and if you have any questions, please just feel free to ask. Bye!